Good evening, everyone. Hope you've had an excellent Saturday. I know it's kind of been storming around everywhere, though, right? I mean, we got some in late this evening, but I had someone else earlier today message me and say, thank goodness their package got there, before the storm did. Because you really don't want packages of cards left out in storms, do you? Of course, most of the time I use a type of envelope that the water wouldn't get through it anyway, but still, we don't want that to happen. All right, so tonight we're going to have a lot of fun. We are opening a half case of Leaf Autograph football jerseys. It is the back half of a case that we started a couple of days ago. The front half of that case was pretty awesome. Hopefully the back half is going to match the awesomeness of the front half. We will also open a full case of Noir basketball, which of course is a fantastic product that you know I love. And following that, we're going to open another third of a case of Donruss football, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It's 1,500 cards, and yeah, it'll be one we'll settle in for, that's for sure. Before we get started ripping into our packs tonight, a little info to go over. First up, feedback. I completely automated my feedback on eBay. I did that so you guys don't ever have to wait on me. So anytime you leave positive feedback for me, that lovely little automated system is going to instantly give you positive feedback in return. And then the second note that you see there is just a note to say thanks. That's because I'm glad you guys are here, and gals. I'm always happy to have you join me, whether you're bidding, breaking with me, just hanging out and chatting, stopping by to watch a little of the video, whatever brings you here, I am glad to have you. So thanks for joining me this Saturday evening. What you see right now, a list of the breaks that are coming up on eBay. This is the stuff that's already listed that we're going to be opening over the course of the next 5 days. So tomorrow night, guys, remember we are starting a little earlier than normal. We're going to start at 9:30 instead of 10 tomorrow night. And we will be opening a full case of Elements football as well as a 20-box case of Archive Signature Series Active Player Edition, which we haven't opened really since it came out because I didn't have any more until I found this case. And then a half case of Allen and Ginter Baseball, which will be the start of a new case of Allen and Ginter. On Monday, we'll open a case of Immaculate Baseball, which is another thing that we were out of stock on previously that I have subsequently gotten another case of. Gold Standard Football, it is the back half of a case, and that is the last of the Gold Standard. So when that goes on Monday night, that'll be it for Gold Standard Football. And then we will also open another case of Certified Football on Monday, and I think that's the last of that I have on hand anyway. On Tuesday night, we'll open an autographed New Era baseball cap, a Gold Rush autographed baseball jersey, a case of Clearly Authentic Baseball, which just came out this past Wednesday. We'll open another half case of our Leaf autographed football jerseys on Tuesday, and that'll be the start of a new case. And then we'll finish up this case of Donruss football on Tuesday night as well. On Wednesday, there's only one thing that comes out on Wednesday this week, one new release, and that is Unparalleled Football. So we'll open a case of that along with a Hit Parade Series 32 autographed full-size football helmet, which, by the way, has Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley and Sam Darnold as possible pulls in there, as well as some other big names, of course. On Thursday, we'll open another half case of Leaf autographed jerseys, another case of Clearly Authentic, and we'll start in with a full case of Topps Chrome Jumbo Baseball. And those jumbo cases have got a lot of hits in them, guys. It's I think 5 per box, so we're talking a 40 autograph hits in that case of Topps Chrome Jumbo. So that's going to be a fun one to get into as well. So for tonight, this is the order that we're breaking in as well. So it's going to be the half case of Leaf autographed football jerseys are going to be up first. If you're in that break, here's what you need to know. I'm anticipating that your jerseys will ship out on or before Friday because that is a free shipping break. The other thing you need to know about free shipping breaks is this. If your team is not pulled, the consolation card that you get, which I track that for a rolling 90 days, okay? So those consolation cards, if you don't get pulled, it's a random card from any year, any series. And usually in a free shipping break like the jerseys, I'm just going to hold on to those consolation cards until you next have something that you pull. So the next time you pull a card or a jersey, I'd look back over those past 90 days, gather up all the consolation cards, add them to that package, and shoot them all out the door to you. If you don't want to wait for that, All you have to do is just drop me a message on eBay, let me know that, and I will put your consolation card in a plain white envelope, put a stamp on it, and it will head your way. Okay, so that's how it works for the football jersey break. Our paid shipping breaks tonight, which are Noir basketball and Donruss football, those I'm anticipating to get out the door on Wednesday. If I can get it out faster, I absolutely will. If you happen to get blanked in Noir, I would send whatever consolation card or cards that you're going to get will go with the rest of the break, since that's a paid shipping break. Donruss football, there's a 20 zillion trillion cards in there. Everybody's going to pull something. You don't have to worry about consolation cards in Donruss. So first up tonight, 4 boxes of 2018 Leaf Autograph football jerseys. It is a half case break. It's break number 6. Everything that we're opening tonight ended tonight on eBay, Saturday night, August the 11th. And of course, as typical, we are live streaming it the same night that it ends on eBay. You'll find the team names are on the left-hand side and your name up in lights on the right-hand side if you happen to be the winning bidder for that team tonight. And of course, a new spreadsheet will go up before each and every break. So if you're not in this jersey break, you're going to get a chance to see your name up there as soon as we get to your product. And last but not least, I don't like autofocus. I'm taking it off and setting the focus manually, which is going to cause the background to go a little bit out of focus, but don't worry, we're still going to be able to see everything. So don't worry about that. We're all going to be good. So, of course, you know, we started this the other night, so we've got 4 of these boxes. I'm just going to bring them over one at a time. They're numbered on the end because originally, at the start of the case, we, took all the boxes out, numbered them on the end, and used random to determine which ones we opened which night. In chat, I see that we have Greg and Jay Allen, and Trent is here. Bobby B is here. Hey, hey, hey to you, Bobby B. And Trent wants to know if the Warriors team owner for Noir happens to be watching the break, and if that team owner is watching the break, do you like Jordan Bell? So there you go. That's the question. I tell you what, this guy has been coming out of these cases a lot lately. It's a good thing. It's a good player. It is Jim Kelly for the Buffalo Bills. So you've got Jim Kelly's signature, Jim Kelly JSA authentication sticker, and there's your JSA authentication card to go along with it. Let me say this about the jerseys, everyone. Most of these paper cards, I'm going to fold them up somewhere within the jersey when I ship this. So when you get it, please just make sure, if you want that paper card, just make sure that you find it before you toss everything away into the trash, okay? Because I usually kind of tuck it away in there. Kill Switch says you need a hit tonight. And what teams do you have, Kill Switch? Bobby B, I'm with you. I saw that. I'm exactly thinking what you thought when I first saw it, and I saw the colors. I thought, ooh, are we going to hit a Patriots jersey? Then I got to look at the signature, and I realized we hit Jim Kelly again. So Jim Kelly has been coming out of these cases pretty regularly, actually. Oh, here's an interesting one. There's Johnny Manziel, kids. And there is a Johnny Manziel hologram authentication from Leaf. You've also got a Leaf credit card authentication in with it. And, of course, Johnny Manziel, no longer in the NFL, up there in the Canadian Football League, but his longest tenured service was with the Browns. So the Johnny Manziel autographed jersey, we're going to send off to the Browns because goodness knows, that's the only NFL team he was associated with. And the Browns, if they had to suffer through him, at least they should get something for him, right? Gina, you said that looks like Jim Kelly on the Houston Gamblers jersey you're talking about. These are actually all custom jerseys, Gina. So none of these are going to have team logos on them. That's why I didn't bother to take it out and flip it around and all that, because I know that all of these are custom jerseys. So it's in the colors of the Bills, of course, because that's where Jim Kelly would have played. And, oh, this is a cool hit. And I haven't seen the Dolphins come out in a while, so it's about time for this, too. It's Bob Greasy for the Dolphins, which is pretty awesome. There's, again, a Leaf hologram authentication, your Leaf kind of credit card authentication, and there is your signature. So the Dolphins with a nice little hit there for Bob Greasy. Ben Rudd, we hit Jim Kelly out first for the Buffalo Bills. I know, Bobby B. It was messed up that your Darius Geis tore his ACL. We were talking about that last night. He is done for the year. And, you know, when I heard that, that is one of the things I thought about. I was like, man, Bobby is going to be so bummed because that is his guy out of this year's rookie class. I mean, that just blows. Sometimes, you know, you wonder about these preseason games. We all like to watch them and get a look at our rookies, but every year somebody ends up getting hurt. And another nice one, we hit this not the last break maybe, but the break before. It is a nice Deshaun Watson jersey for the Texans. And you've got a couple of authentications, probably a player authentication, I think that is. And then you've got a hologram Leaf authentication and your Leaf credit card COA as well. So to recap here, we have Deshaun Watson for the Houston Texans. We have Bob Greasy for the Dolphins. Johnny Manziel, which can you believe? So Johnny Manziel is headed, of course, to the Cleveland Browns, the only NFL team that he played for. He is considered, for purposes of this break, he is considered retired from the NFL. Of course, he plays in the Canadian Football League, but we didn't have a bidding spot for that, and so he's considered retired from the NFL, meaning it will go to the Browns. And then last but not least, it is Jim Kelly for the Buffalo Bills. So, all in all, I think this has been a pretty good case of jerseys. Of course, we hit the Saquon Barkley and some other very nice stuff out of the first half. I like what we hit here in the second half, so Leaf jerseys continue to treat us well. Let me get this put away, and then we're going to move on down the road. So give me 1 second here, guys, to get these tucked safely away. I have little holding pens, kind of, for lack of a better word, for all of the memorabilia, you know, because you got to keep that stuff organized, and especially by date and stuff. If we're going to be, you know, when we do multiples, got to make sure I have it all where it needs to be. Let's get the spreadsheet up again, and coming up next is Noir basketball. So if you didn't happen to see this before, here's the information. Noir and Donruss, both, I'm projecting to ship out on or before Wednesday. I would love to get it to you before that, but realistically, I think Wednesday is the safest bet there. And of course, in Donruss, no one has to worry about consolation cards. Every team's going to pull cards in Donruss. In Noir, which is what's coming up next, if your team is not pulled and you get skunked in the break, I hope no one does, but if you do, what will happen is this. Your consolation card or cards that you're due, they will ship with the rest of the break, since this is a paid shipping break. So you wouldn't have to wait on them or anything like that, which of course when we do free breaks, usually they're held until you have something else going, unless you tell me otherwise. So this is a 4-box case of Panini Noir basketball. It's full case break number 2. Also ended tonight on eBay, of course, Saturday night the 11th. This is the only other case of Noir that I have on hand. I've been kind of asking around. I did find some more, but I have to tell you, the prices are outrageous. So this is probably the last of the Noir that we're going to be, you know, opening, I think. I believe so. So you guys are going back and forth about a Jordan Bell card, I think, that somebody has got listed on eBay apparently. So hopefully you guys can maybe make some sort of a deal there. I don't know. Bobby B, Are you asking me if I have a Facebook page, or are you asking Trent, who's working on selling his card? If you are asking me, I have not set that up yet, and I have not set up my website yet. And what has it been? Only a couple years that I've been saying I'm going to get that done. Oh my gosh, I never have time. I want to get it done. I actually asked a friend of mine if they wanted to kind of start gathering some stuff together and maybe getting some of the behind the scenes work done on that, and offered to pay them if they could help me because I just don't have enough hours in the day. And I don't know. We'll see how that goes, if that works out or not. If I can get someone to give a little hand in there so that I could basically clone myself and do twice the amount in one day that I'm currently doing, I'd have a whole bunch of other stuff done, including that website and a Facebook page. But eventually I'm going to get that done. Meanwhile, I did intend to have something done tonight that didn't get finished because it took me a whole lot longer to sort. Donruss football, actually, is what I was sorting this afternoon. Of course, the post office closed early today, being Saturday, so Donruss football did not get shipped out. Because of that, I didn't finish it in time. I've got a lot of other stuff out, but not that yet. But I did get it sorted anyway, so I'll be printing the labels for it tomorrow. Anyway, that took a lot longer than I thought, so I did not get the direct breaks ready to roll out yet. And for those of you who might not know what I'm referring to, there is a case of Leaf Greatest Hits football that we're going to be breaking, a couple of cases of Leaf Greatest Hits basketball, a half case of Leaf Greatest Hits baseball, which happens to be sitting right back there. And we're going to be breaking all of those by way of chat, okay? So I had hoped to have all the pricing and stuff up tonight. Obviously, it didn't happen. So I'm going to take time tomorrow and get it rolled out. Those will break whenever the break fills. That's going to be the deal, okay? And in each of those breaks, I'm going to spice it up a little. We're not going to just get what comes out of Greatest Hits. I'm also going to open gold and silver VIP packs from the recent national convention. I'm going to add those to the break. So they're going to be a little added incentive in there to go along with our Leaf Greatest Hits. But I am going to sell that directly through chat. I hope it's all going to go through chat and that we'll just sell it out and it'll be done. If for some reason some carry over and they don't sell and it drags on for, many days longer than I think it should, then I might put some of the remaining teams up on eBay. But that's kind of how it's going to work, and they'll be priced by team, and you'll have an opportunity to buy into those starting tomorrow. So I'll put it up tomorrow night at the start of the break. Might even start the break a couple minutes early to work on it. Kemba Walker and the Hornets, numbered to 79, is our first card out. Followed by Victor Oladipo. That one also to 79 for the Pacers. And now we are going to start with our hits. To 49, it's box office memorabilia Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. I like my man Jamal Murray. Of course, he played with UK, so I'm going to like him. That is box office memorabilia also to 49, John Henson. Our third memorabilia card for this particular box is Icons, and that's Alonzo Mourning. And it is numbered to 99, and of course, for the Hornets. Well, yeah, that's correct. Charlotte Hornets. I had to think about that a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, because there was the weird period with the New Orleans and blah, 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 back and forth. But he was a Charlotte Hornet, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so we're good. No worries. Alonzo Ball relic to 99 for the Lakers. And this Sindarius Thornwell is quite a handsome card. That's numbered to 99. You've got a nice patch up here, and what appears to be, is that on card? Yeah, looks like an on card signature. And of course, you know, this is the part of Noir that I like the best, the black and white card. So I kind of dig on the black and white one. So I think that's a cool hit with Sindarius Thornwell. To 99, we have Zach Collins on card with a relic for the Blazers. We have a redemption coming up, and I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to save it till the very end of the break because I am mean that way. Terrible, but, you know, we'll see how it shakes out there at the end. Chris Paul, numbered to 25 for the Houston Rockets, and that's just a framed card. The little frames sometimes have some dents and dings and imperfections on them, so you know, if that happens, just be aware that it can happen. Occasionally you'll find a little dent in it, or you'll find a little piece of the finish flaked off or something, but they've gotten better about it in recent years. It was worse, you know, when they first started doing framed cards. That is numbered to 79, Big Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat. The Sacramento Kings to 79 with Bogdanovic. Hey, you guys know what comes out on Friday? You know, I was talking about we don't have anything coming next Wednesday but unparalleled football. But you know what I forgot about? We've got Crown Royal basketball coming next week. It just comes out on Friday instead of Wednesday. So I am really looking forward to Crown Royal basketball. I think that's going to be a massive amount of fun. That is numbered to 99, DJ Wilson and the Bucks. Mainly because I'm just a fan of Crown Royal, period, kind of. And then we have Icons numbered to 99, and that is for the Chicago Bulls, John Sally. Coming up behind that is Lauri Markkanen, another relic for the Bulls. This one is numbered to 99. Trying to get my iPad's acting all stupid over there. That thing just doesn't cooperate with me these days. Anunoby, and that is a pretty cool patch. New Wave Jerseys, 3-color patch, numbered to 25 for the Raptors. We have another redemption. Flip it over too. Bobby B, no, we did not get Flash. What a drag. So yeah, I had to email everybody last night. We went through a whole thing last night. But basically, Leaf sent out, Leaf Flash, for those of you who don't know, was supposed to have been released yesterday. This is John Collins and the Atlanta Hawks, and it is numbered to, 99. And so, you know, I hadn't seen tracking and stuff on it, so I asked my reps to call and ask Leaf what was going on. So they did call Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was. This is Reggie Miller for the Pacers. Got a little imperfection down there in the lower right corner. That is a nice low number to 25. And of course, Reggie Miller just rejoined the Panini autograph lineup not too long ago. Our frame card is John Collins for the Hawks. It is numbered to 25. So when they called, Leaf wouldn't tell them what day was going to come out. They wouldn't say like whether it was coming Friday or not still. All they would tell them is soon. So I'm like, well, what does that mean, soon? He says, well, you know, it might not come Friday, but if it doesn't, since he said soon, you know, it could come Saturday, it might be Monday. He goes, but, you know, he said soon, so I don't think it'll be that long. I said, all right, well, we're going to wait and see what happens. So then at around lunchtime on Friday, which was release day, by the way, Brian, the guy at Leaf, sends out an email and says, oh, yeah, we've pushed it to the 21st. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is numbered to 79 for the Bucks. It's the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, of course, I immediately jump onto eBay. I was able to end the auctions that would have been tonight. This is numbered to 79, Maxi Kleber for the Mavericks. But eBay would not let me end the ones for last night because they had bids and it ended in less than 12 hours. D'Angelo Russell and the Nets, that is numbered to 49. So yeah, so I had to email everybody and go back and forth, and some people were mad and some people didn't want to keep their bids. So I had several teams that ended up having to not be sold. That is numbered to 49. It's Aaron Gordon and the Magic. And I am aware that a couple of you have sent me messages inquiring about maybe picking up those teams that didn't sell. And I will get back to you on that. It's probably going to be tomorrow, but obviously we've got a few days. But I will get back to you guys and give you a list of the teams that didn't sell and the prices and all that. Jonathan Isaac and the Magic for $2.99. And look at this. This is a little Grant Hill episodic, but because it has 3 different teams on it, it's still going to possibly go to random. I say possibly because if you own 2 of the 3 teams, that would give you 51% or more of the card. That's how my randoms are structured. If you have 51% or more, you take it outright. If no one has 51% or more, it goes to random.org. For the Nuggets, it's Tyler Lydon. Tyler is numbered to 99. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I keep forgetting he was traded. I had to think about that a minute because, you know, Tyler Lydon for the whole first of the year, you know, you see him on a whole different team. It just took me a minute. So that's the deal. Yeah, well, so if they, you canceled your order for Leaf Flash, Bobby? Yeah, I mean, it's a mess. That's numbered to 99. It's John Stockton and the Jazz. And another redemption. I mean, my deal is this. I know Leaf plays games a lot with their releases, and I normally wouldn't have probably even gone on and listed it, except for the fact that they were still saying, you know, that it was coming. And then by the time we get to Tuesday or Wednesday and we call, they're still saying soon. So, you know, this is numbered to 25. It is a Celtics split screen. And of course, you've got Jason Tatum on one part of that and Kyrie Irving on the other, and the nice framed card. So I do always put in the description of the Leaf stuff, you know, hey, this is supposed to be the release date. If it moves, the break will move, etc. But it doesn't matter. You can put that or not. Half the people don't read it, and the other half of the people are going to be mad whether, you know, whether it works that way or not. So, yes, Jay Allen and Ben Rudd, if you guys are interested in the teams that ended up that people abandoned them, just send me a message about it. And basically I'll send everybody who's inquired about those, I will send you all a list of the teams with the prices, and it'll kind of be whoever answers first and wants it sort of deal. This is to 79, Devin Booker and the Suns. Because there are, you know, probably 2 or 3 people have already asked me about it, and then I think you guys are going to add to that. So we'll have probably 5 or 6 of you interested. That's numbered to 79. It is Chris Paul and the Houston Rockets. And we have here for the Mavericks, numbered to 25, Rolando Blackman. Well, there's one you don't see every day. And a low number at that. So if you got the Mavericks, I think that's kind of a cool hit with Rolando Blackman. For the Bucks, numbered to 99, it is Moncrief, Sidney Moncrief. And a dual relic here. We have Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox, numbered to 99. So another one that's going to potentially end up going to random. We've got the Kings and the Hornets facing off on that one. Of course, we'll go look all that up on the spreadsheet before we go to random. Donovan Mitchell, hey, and Bam Adebayo on this dual relic. A little imperfection down here in this lower left corner. That is numbered to 99, and we'll have the Jazz and the Heat in play on it. And then we have numbered to, is that 25 again? Yeah, to 25. It's a little Rod Strickland for the Blazers. Ooh, I see a nice one coming that will make someone quite happy. So someone's about to be happy for the evening because you have a nice Lonzo Ball coming for the Lakers, numbered to 99. You've got, of course, the 2-color patch and the on-card hard-signed autograph. Bernard King is next out to 99. That's for the Knicks. And it seems I have somehow run out of my little pack of my little sleeves that are on the table. Let me get a few more out so that we can finish this up. So Bernard King again is the Knicks. And I had one stuck in the back that I guess I didn't pull forward. And that is Giannis again for the Bucks to 25. So we've got a few things to do in random, but before we do our 3 cards that would go in random, guess what else? We've got redemptions to look at. Always a good time. And we will go to the Panini checklist and verify each of these after we take a look at them. We'll find out what they're going to be numbered to. So there's Bam Adebayo. That, of course, is going to be for the Heat. Autograph Prime Rookies, black and white. Usually when they say Prime, it's typically going to be fairly low numbered, but of course, we'll go check it out. We'll see what's what with it. Second out is, oh, Charles Oakley. I saw the Charles and I was like, what? We're going to have Charles Barkley, which is, of course, who we would all love to see, but no, that's Charles Oakley, who I believe should be the Knicks. If I'm wrong, oh, well, all I'll have to do is change the sleeve, but I don't remember Charles Oakley playing for anyone but the Knicks anyway. And one left to flip over. Let's see if it's one of our big guys. We've already hit Lonzo, of course, but we could possibly hit Tatum or Mitchell, maybe. So good luck if you're the last man standing. Let's see what we've got. Oh, it is Jason Tatum. Nice. Spotlight Signatures Vertical. That's nice. Celtics were sweating it out, weren't they? Had to wait right there, the very last thing to flip over, but now you're happy. So now you're just big sigh of relief if you have the Celtics, right? So first off, let's go take a look at what we need to know about this card. So we're going to look at our team owner for the Hornets and the Kings. And if it is a different team owner, here's what happens, guys. I always enter these either left to right or top to bottom, depending on how the card is oriented. So in this case, it's going to go in as Kings and Hornets if it goes to random. And I would hit random 3 different times. The first 2 times are not going to count. It's only the third and final time that is our determining factor. So the Kings tonight, that's Roy Leaf 1961. And our Charlotte Hornets tonight, that is Kearns 37. So that means we are for sure going to rock over here to random.org and let it make our decision here. All right, so Kings and Hornets. And again, please remember the first 2 times don't count. So ignore the first one, ignore the second one. Here goes our third and final. And there you will see 3 times our date and time stamp. It comes up as the Sacramento Kings. So that is this card right here is awarded to the Kings using random.org. And of course, hopefully everyone would know I'm not writing on a card, that I'm writing on a sleeve, but I find it's best to just always show things and then there's no question about it. So next up, we're looking at Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz and Bam Adebayo with the Heat. So we're going to kind of rinse and repeat the same process that we just did. We're going to roll right through it and do it again. So the Jazz is Danny, and the Heat, where's the Heat? The Heat is JC. So we're back, in fact, to random again. Same concept. It will be entered as Jazz, then Heat 3 times. First 2 not counting, third making the decision. Okay, so here we go. First one, ignore it. Second one, ignore. Third one tells the story. 3 times, date and time stamp goes to the Miami Heat. And I have to admit, most of the time I don't really have a rooting interest in these, but I was kind of hoping that one was going to go to the Jazz just because I know we have another card for the Heat, and I would like for the Jazz to have gotten that. But random.org has decided that it is, in fact, going to the Heat. And then this, we've got the same player all the way across. It's Grant Hill, but it's like a little career retrospective with swatches from each of his teams, which are the Pistons, the Clippers, and the Suns. So to own 51% or more, you're going to have 2 of the 3. So if you have 2 of the 3, you're going to take it outright. If you don't, we're going to have to go through our same process one more time. Pistons, Oilers, Moon Fan. The Clippers, Can 0827. The Suns is, I'm just going to call that J-Bay. It's really probably J... Bayaya. Whatever. We're just going to go with J-Bay. Anyway, here's the important part. It's not the same team owner. We do need to go back to random one more time this evening. So this one is entered as Pistons, Clippers, and Suns. Did I just type that wrong? Yeah, I did. What am I trying to type? I don't even know. Okay, so ignore the first go. Ignore the second one. Here comes our third and final. 3 times our date and time stamp all right there. That one's headed to the Phoenix Suns. That is this card right here. All right, so to recap, going to the Suns with the Grant Hill career retrospective sort of thing. Going to the Miami Heat, once again, a random card. Going to the Sacramento Kings by way of random.org. A redemption for the Celtics, which we need to go look up, don't we? Why was I recapping before we've gone and verified these? Whoops. Whoops. Timeout. Flag on the play. All right, let's get back to where I should be so that we can look at this. So our card set for Jason Tatum is Spotlight Signatures Vertical. So let's go down here and get that squared away. He is card number 9. There he is. It's going to be numbered to 125. So that is a nice, relatively low number hit for the Celtics. Now let's look for our Charles Oakley. That is Auto Noir Color Gold. So I think we can probably assume it's going to be a little bit lower numbered than what we just saw, would be my guess. Charles Oakley is card number 48. And that is, in fact, a bunch lower. It is numbered to 25, and we were correct in assuming that it was going to be a New York Knick. He is, in fact, New York Knicks. Which brings us next to the Bam Adebayo card. It is card set Autographed Prime Rookies Black and White. And it is card number 334. There's our big man Bam Adebayo. That one is numbered to 99 for the Heat. So now we're all nice and verified on our redemption. So Heat, Knicks, Celtics. Moving on down the line here, our framed cards tonight were Celtics, the Hawks, and the Rockets. Each of those numbered to 25 and framed. We're not going to do front and back of these each time again. We're just going to put them up here from the front for anyone who might have missed it earlier if you want a second look. Tyler Lydon is a Nugget on this card. We finally have him as a Nugget, I think. Wasn't he in earlier before? Wasn't he in as a Pacer all throughout the early card sets, or did I dream that? Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know, but I think that's right. That's a nice Reggie Miller to 25. If you have the Pacers. I like that patch for Anunoby and the Raptors. The black and white ones are so awesome. They're my favorites. Actually, the black and white card design from Noir 2015, I think it is, was my very favorite. It had kind of like a smoky sort of background. I think it was 2015. Bernard King, Rolando Blackman, John Stockton. That's a nice hit for the Jazz, too, actually, the John Stockton. Lauri Markkanen. John Sally. DJ Wilson. Alonzo Ball relic. But hey, guess what? That's not all we've got for you. Right. Lakers, we've got you a nice Lonzo Ball autograph to 99 to go along with. And then an Icons, Alonzo Mourning for Charlotte. John Henson for the Bucks. And finally, Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. So that has Noir all wrapped up. Don't have any more of that. Don't think I'm going to be able to get any more of that because the prices have gotten so outrageous. But once again, we will be breaking Leaf Greatest Hits basketball. Just come back here and tomorrow or any day thereafter until it sells out. But we're going to sell that out through chat at the beginning, probably at the beginning of the night, and then we'll revisit it again at the end of each night. Not just that, but Greatest Hits Basketball, Greatest Hits Football, and Greatest Hits Baseball, all going to be sold that way. And I'll mix in some little VIP packs from the National to go with it, both gold and silver. And yeah, so we'll have some fun with it. And of course, Crown Royal on Friday. Don't forget Crown Royal. So if you haven't seen this by now, here's one more chance to take a look at it. We are coming upon Donruss football. It will be a third case break. I'm expecting it to ship on Wednesday. If I can get it out to you faster than that, I certainly will. You do not have to worry about consolation cards if you are in Donruss football because every team's pulling a lot of cards. Believe me, I just sorted break number 1 today, and it took a very, very, very long time. So everybody got plenty of cards. 6 boxes of 2018 Donruss football, third case break number 2. It ended tonight, Saturday night, August the 11th. We're live streaming it, breaking it tonight, August the 11th. And we have 12 of our 18 boxes left. So we're going to put those 12 boxes up here on the table. And I will do just like I did when we started the case. Except I got to make sure I put them on like an opposite end where they're not already numbered. We got to put them on the other side. I will number them on the end. And we will use random.org to tell us which ones we're going to open tonight. And whichever we don't open tonight will be in the next break of this, which is what? Tuesday night, I think? Something like that. And I picked up some more Leaf metal, or not Leaf metal, gosh, I've got Leaf on the brain. I picked up some more Elements when I was at the local card store yesterday picking up the other Clearly Authentic. He had some Elements football that he wanted to sell me. So I did pick up a little more of that. So we'll have some beyond what is already listed on eBay, which I think I had previously said would be the last of it. There will be another case of that because, you know, I mean, I've told you guys he had the heart attack. He's not got anybody that can, he's the only one that works in that store. He's not got anybody that can help him out. And he hasn't been able to spend full days there in a while. And so his sales are down. And he's just like, I'm sitting on all this stuff. So I said, hey, man, I'll take some of it and I'll break it and help you out with it. So that's kind of where we are. So, okay, there our boxes are all lined up. All handsomely lined up and numbered to 12. So let's go back to random. And this is an easy one. I'm just going to type in 1 through 12. I will hit random one single time. The first 6 numbers that come up, we'll open those corresponding 6 boxes here in a minute. Okay, so there's our 1 through 12. Here we go. It gives us 10, 9, 3, 1, 7, 6. So 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10. 1, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10. All right, 1, 3. I know, I keep having to say it, but it's so I don't forget. 6, 7, 9, 10. All right. Let me get the rest of these put back in the case, and then we'll get started on our break. You know, we pulled a 1 of 1 out of our first break of Donruss football. And I have to tell you, it's not super easy to pull 1 of 1s out of Donruss, right? So, but we've been on a little bit of a roll. We've been pulling, I'd say, we had 3 or 4 breaks this week where we pulled 1 or more 1 of 1s. I mean, it's been a pretty nice little run. Of course, I don't know if we'll get another one tonight since we've already gotten 1 out of this case, but it would We would have to keep our streak going. If we're going to find it, it's going to have to be in here because we didn't hit it in Noir as a 1 of 1. So Donruss. Let's talk about Donruss a minute. 1 autograph card and 1 memorabilia card per box. Those are the hits. There is just a megaton, like a massive, tremendous amount of inserts and numbered cards in here. So because there are so many, they are very, very plentiful, we are not going to stop and dissect kind of each one, right? So the first time through, I might tend to say, hey, here's what this card set looks like. But then beyond that, we're just going to buzz right on through them for the most part, unless they're numbered. I mean, really low numbered. I mean, there's going to be numbered cards in here, but I mean, unless they're very low numbered, for the most part, we'll just keep on trucking. If you should happen to want to take another look at something that has gone by, jump into chat and let me know, and we can certainly do that. Similarly, if, you know, I'm going faster than you like or slower than you want it to go, you can jump into chat and let me know that too. And if you don't know how to, if you can't see chat, if you're watching live and you're unable to see chat, you probably need to log into YouTube, or if you're in the app, I don't know if you have to be logged in, but if you're on the browser, you have to be logged in. And also, if you're on the browser and you're on a mobile device, like you've gone on your phone or your tablet and typed in www.youtube.com and gotten here that way, in addition to being logged in, you would also have to hit the thing that says you want to view, or the link, I should say, that says you want to view the desktop version. So that's how that all works. Bobby B, are you still on here, Bobby B? Because if you are, I am curious to know when, I'm surprised your rep let you cancel Leaf Flash, honestly. I'm surprised they let you cancel it. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to cancel mine anyway, because I think it's going to be a nice product, and I'm looking forward to it, and I like the idea that there's going to be veterans and things in there. So I wouldn't cancel mine anyway, but I am surprised that they just said okay and let you cancel it, especially because Leaf does this weird stuff all the time, it seems like. Okay, so this is an Elite Rookies card series. We're going to find a bunch of these as we go along. They're not numbered, but they are kind of cool. I believe that's called the Mojo pattern that you see there in the background. And so they're kind of cool cards, but not numbered. There's an MVP insert set, of course, like you just saw. There's plenty of rated rookies. If there are rated rookies that are numbered or something special about them, I will point it out. Lots and lots of press proofs. This one is numbered to 50, and anytime we see one that is gold, it will be numbered to 50. And I don't know what's going on right there. Is that part of the picture? See that little white right there, kind of on the edge of the card? I don't know if that's part of the picture or if that's some kind of imperfection on the card. I'm not quite sure what's happening there with that, but anyway, regardless, there it is. So press proofs that are this color are going to be numbered to 50. Press proofs that are red will be numbered to 99. And Rookie Gridiron Kings, we'll find a bunch of Gridiron Kings. Some will be rookies, some will be veteran players, but as a whole, there will be a bunch. Kid Reporter inserts, zillions of them. If you have a kid and you want the kid entered into the contest, you are more than welcome to write down a code. You see them as they go by there. Just freeze the frame, write it down, have at it if you want one. Legends series, once again, these are not numbered, but we'll find a fair amount of them. And these, of course, again, this insert, we've already seen a few of those highlights. Inserts go by, and we'll find a bunch more as we go along. The Rookies is still yet another insert series. That's kind of a checkerboard. I believe it's called the checkerboard pattern. And those typically are not numbered either. Whoops, I just stacked that in the wrong spot. Daggone it. Well, anyway, there's those three, and let me stack them over in things that we have looked at as opposed to things we have not looked at. Try that again. Dominators, we'll find loads those, mostly unnumbered. Legends of the Falls, of the Fall, similarly unnumbered. And we've got somebody stuck together here. So there's a Gridiron King and a Press Proof. And the silver Press Proof is numbered to 100. So the gold to 50, the silver to 100, the red to 99, and I'll have to think about what other ones there are. Probably not going to remember until we see them, as a matter of fact. But as a whole, Donruss has just lots and lots of inserts in it. Probably you guys all know that because it's that way with Donruss basketball and stuff too. Donruss baseball, they've all got a lot of numbered cards and inserts and things. And these are, I forget, what year is this honoring? Anybody? This goes back as like a throwback to another year. But I don't remember what year it is. James Washington, the rookies, played well in his debut preseason game. But I think they are for sure going to cut Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is going to be the one gone. And this is the red border Press Proof. Actually, I thought the red border in here was numbered to 99, but it appears that the red border is unnumbered. So I apologize. Gotten myself confused with a different card set because the Press Proof reds appear to be unnumbered. So sorry. Sorry about saying that wrong a minute ago. There's an Elite Series Mason Rudolph that went by. There was a Man of the Year, a Walter Payton Man of the Year award that you saw a second ago. Another insert series that we'll find plenty of. And a Le'Veon Bell went by. We pulled a Le'Veon Bell autographed jersey last night out of Game Day Greats. That was kind of fun. It's either 98 or 88, Jay Allen. Okay. I couldn't remember. There are two different, Jay Allen is correct. There are two different tribute cards in here that are throwbacks to past years of Donruss releases. The one I showed you just a second ago that I can't remember which year it's from. And then there's one other one. I think the other one says on the back what year it's from. And if we run across one, I'll flip it over and we'll see. But Jay Allen is saying he thinks those two throwbacks are 1998 and 1988. So if we find the other one and it tells us what year it is, then we'll know by default which year that was. So we didn't find any of our hits yet in the first half of that box, so they should be both sitting here in the back half of this box. If I can manage to get our packs open. And so we're going to start out on Wednesday. I'm just kind of thinking ahead. We're going to start out on Wednesday with doing one 8-box case of Unparalleled. That's the day it comes out. I think we may start doing 2 cases of that at a time. I have to double back and see exactly how many cards it has in it, but I don't think it has an extraordinary amount in it. And if it doesn't, we may start doing 16 boxes and 2 cases of that. But our first break's one 8-box case, and that'll be Wednesday night. Joe Thomas relic. It is All Pro Kings numbered to 125. So that is our first hit out of the box. And there's a Derek Carr insert that we find. This is just another insert series we find a bunch of. I'm assuming that they're putting the patriotic theme in there because of all of the controversy about the national anthem, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm assuming that's why all of a sudden we have patriotic things in here. So here's the other throwback one, and it says on there it's a 1988 Donruss tribute. So since we know that this one is the 1988 Donruss tribute, then the first one by default would have to be 1998, based on what Jay Allen told us, which is those are the 2 years we're doing. So that answers a good question for us. Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. That's a whole other insert series that, again, pretty much unnumbered, but we'll find throughout. An Eli Manning press proof, that one to 400. So purple to 400, silver to 100, gold to 50, and red unnumbered in our press proofs. Which sometimes those press proofs actually can bring you a little money, so for what that's worth. There's an MVP Marshall Faulk. This one is a refractor, and it is numbered to 100. That's kind of a cool card. And I don't think we talked about that one yet either. Team Heroes. Nor have we talked about Ground Force. So see what I'm saying? A lot of inserts in here. It's just like, I think there's actually more inserts in Donruss than there are base cards. This is a die cut numbered to 25. It's Ryan Shazier and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think anytime we find that die cut, it's going to be numbered to 25. I think they were all that way out of the first break. I don't think I've seen any of the die cuts numbered to less than that. But of course, you know, as soon as I say that, we'll find a die cut numbered to something else, because that's the way it always works, right? So I know we're done breaking basketball. I know we're breaking football right now. But did you all, I'm sure many or most of you, saw that Isaiah Thomas, who played the one little stint there up in Cleveland, called Cleveland a S-hole. I'm not saying the word because you know how I am. It's a little family kind of oriented show. I want to make sure no kids hear bad words or would be offended. But yeah, he said as an SH hole. Like in an interview. Like, who does that? Nyheim Hines and the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, basically, he said he's not surprised that LeBron left because Cleveland is a blank hole. Like, oh, brother, what is wrong with you, man? Like, sometimes. I know he's gone from there now, but, like, he is still looking for another job and such. So I don't know if you need to be running around saying that kind of stuff about your former team. Bobby B, I tell you what, if you were after Hines, he is, I'm sure that you know, is coming out of the 2018 products massively. There's always one or two rookies that it seems like you just find more than the rest of them. He is one that I'm finding populating boxes quite heavily. And the other one that I find a lot is for the Packers, and it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Both of those guys come out, it seems to me, more than other players. Now, maybe that's not the case, but that's how it feels to me anyway. I did pull you a one of him. All right, well, cool, good. See, I've already forgotten that I pulled a one of him. I know, I'm telling you, there's so many cards. But I did get a lot of stuff shipped out today. In fact, I got, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 breaks out the door today. Like, I was hustling. And I got lucky a little bit, too, in the sense that I got some stuff out after the counter was already closed. Because it closes at 3. But my postman is such a nice guy. And he gave me his cell phone number, and he said, you know, you can always hit me up on Saturdays, and if I'm going to be by, he comes by here early in the morning, like 10 o'clock or something. But he comes back up the street to go back to the post office when he finishes up his day. So he says, you can always text me and see what time I'm going to be coming back up the street. And if it's like later than the time that the counter closes, I'll stop by and pick up some more stuff. So he did that today, and I was like so happy. So I did get some extra stuff out beyond the normal. because he was able to swing by and pick that up. So I was happy. Oh, it was out of Immaculate Collegiate. Oh, yeah. See, I had forgotten about that. I was thinking like Donruss. I was thinking Elements. I had forgotten about Immaculate Collegiate. I tried to get more of that, but hardly anybody brought that back from the National, unfortunately. There wasn't much more. And somebody's asking me, is this the break where Captain MIB has the Jets? Oh, boy, I don't know. Hang on. Hang on. I can't flip you guys because I have cards on the table, obviously, but I can look myself. Yes, that is correct. The Jets here in this Donruss break, indeed. So, Manuel, welcome. You must have jumped in after we had the spreadsheet up there. And so here's the way I do that. Generally, I put it up right at the first before we start. And then I don't like to take the camera off of the table to show a different view of anything once we have cards and packs and boxes open. But what I can do for you, Manuel, is if you hang out until we finish up the break, I will be more than happy to put that spreadsheet showing everybody with their teams one more time after the break, if you don't mind hanging out. And Bobby, you said I need Ginkgo. You said I need Ginkgo biloba. Oh, that's funny. Oh, Benrad's turning the sound down. He's like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm not listening to your crap. I'm just going to watch the break. That's probably wise. Probably wise, my friend. Cannot say that I blame you. There is a press-proof Traquan Smith, also a rated rookie. Oh, Manuel, you're from Europe, and it's, it's 5 a.m. there. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I wouldn't be awake right now, so kudos to you, my friend, for being awake and hanging out with us at 5 a.m. What part of Europe are you in? I started to say someplace fun, but you know what? Probably all of Europe is kind of fun because, like, we don't live there. So anytime it's somewhere you don't live, I think you always consider it to be more fun. That is numbered to 100. It's a Gridiron Kings Cowboys Tony Dorsett. And Manuel, you know what? If you did not see I'm assuming since you have the Jets, you probably like Sam Darnold, or you're looking maybe to pull Sam Darnold. Man, he played well last night. I didn't see the game, but I saw some highlights, and kid looks like he is just ready to rock it. So I know there are different people that have mixed opinions about Sam Darnold, but I have to say I thought from what I saw, it was pretty awesome. Oh, you're in Austria. Awesome. This is numbered to 75. It's Mike White and the Cowboys. I do not remember seeing anything go by on invoicing for Austria, so am I shipping to a U.S. address for you? Do you do COMC? I think that's like the most awesome thing. I think everyone who's international should do COMC because it's so much easier. And a lot of people do. For that reason. Of course, I guess if you're going to keep it yourself, you wouldn't necessarily want it to go there. But anyway. So did you get to see the game then? I don't know if they were live streaming it or not. But all the highlight reel that I saw, kid looked like he was just on fire. I mean, he really didn't make a whole lot of mistakes. So I think he's going to be good. Duke Johnson and the Cleveland Browns is our relic. That is numbered to 99. Oh, I gotcha. You've got a friend who helps you out. I like that plan, too. Even better, because they don't charge you money like COMC does. Well, maybe your friend does. I don't know. My friends probably would. My friends would be charging me rent. Yes, for every package we receive, we're going to charge you a 6-pack or something. I don't know. That is numbered to 91. It's Ryan Kerrigan and the Redskins. But yeah, it's that's definitely the way to go if you've got friends who will hook you up and help you out in that regard. We have a redemption. You know what's going to happen. I'm going to leave it upside down. We're going to check it out at the very end of the break. And hopefully it's going to be worth the wait. Some of our redemptions pretty well rock it. And then there are other times you get a redemption and you think, oh man, that was not worth the wait. But fortunately that doesn't happen too often. That is numbered to 100. It is a hollow foil Jimmy Garoppolo for the 49ers. Mr. Jimmy G. Which I think we're all kind of interested to see, right? Like, can he carry it over? Can he... We've only saw the 5-game sample. It was 5 games? I think it was 5 last year. So we've only seen the 5-game sample. I think we all want to know if he can carry it over. Oh, you've seen every Jets game in the last 5 years live. Oh, wow. You were voted the best European Jets fan by the official Jets. And they posted your man cave on Facebook. Oh, man, that's so awesome. That is so awesome, man. That is great. Bobby B, I did see Baker Mayfield, and I also thought that, again, I did not get a chance to watch the game, but I did see the highlights. I did think Baker Mayfield looked good too. I actually was talking about that last night because I had to come out and admit that Baker Mayfield looked better than I expected him to look. So, I'll say it. I mean, I've been saying that I was maybe on the fence about Baker a little bit, and I couldn't quite decide what I thought, other than I figured he needed a little bit of time behind Tyrod, and I still think he needs a little bit of time sitting behind Tyrod. But admittedly, yes, I thought he looked better than I expected him to look. For the Ravens, a press proof for Michael Crabtree. But I still think, I don't know, it's going to be interesting with all of these quarterbacks, but I still think Baker Mayfield doesn't start. I still think it's Tyrod Taylor. And I think that's the way it should be. That's numbered to 99, Michael Gallup and the Cowboys. And I hope that the Browns will do that, because if they get that kid and throw him into the fire, like they did with Deshaun Kaiser and Johnny Manziel and 500,000 quarterbacks before them, it's not fair to the kid. And I know Baker Mayfield is different than Deshaun Kaiser, but it is still a lot. These guys are young, and they're coming into a lot. And in a league with grown men that have been playing this game for a long time, those kids need a little less pressure, I think, in the beginning. And if he takes over from Tyrod 4 games in or 5 games in, okay, fine. That's maybe a different story, but I think that Taylor should be the starter and Baker should be behind him. And I hope that the Browns organization doesn't get themselves all super excited about what they saw and decide to start Baker, because I think that would be doing the kid a disservice. Manuel says Baker Mayfield is too small. Well, they always have questions about their height, and sometimes I guess it factors in and sometimes it doesn't. But as I said, he looked better than I thought he was going to look. So I'll admit that. Yeah, I mean, Bobby, I would not be surprised to see him start maybe midway through the season, depending on a couple of factors. A, how well Tyrod Taylor does, which honestly, Tyrod Taylor he's not a flashy quarterback. So I think that's why, as you say, he doesn't get a lot of respect, because he's not a flashy kind of guy making big splashy plays. But what he does do is manage the game very well, which I know is a bad word, if you're a quarterback, but he is a good game manager, no matter how you want to call it. And he has excellent ball security, so he's not just whipping the ball all over the field and having a zillion turnovers and not having an idea of what's going on. I mean, he's very aware, very efficient, thorough kind of quarterback. He just doesn't make big, splashy plays. So if Taylor has him going in the right direction and he doesn't get hurt and nothing happens, then he probably stays the starter throughout. But if they don't win enough games or there's the least little bit of hiccup, they'll probably throw Baker in there. Or as you say, if they get far enough in the season and they're definitely out of the playoffs, then they might say, okay, let's get him some reps to get him ready. But I hope that that's what they do. Sometimes the Browns don't always make what we would maybe call the logical decision in regard to particularly their quarterbacks. So I hope they take care of the kid and see if they can't develop him. But I think that really most of our quarterbacks this year have a good chance to see the field. Maybe not all of them this year, but I do think that a large number of them have a good possibility of ultimately taking over the reins. Now, whether or not that manages to hold true for the whole season, I guess we'll find out soon enough. That's numbered to 315. It's for the 49ers, and it's Kyle something or another. Notice I just say something or another. I didn't even attempt to pronounce his name. Yeah, well, that's going to happen. There's an Elite Series for the Browns with Nick Chubb. And a little Walter Payton Man of the Year. I see an aqueous test up there behind us. Here comes Kalen Ballage. He's another one, actually, when talking about 2018s that come out a lot. That's not autographed. I thought it was going to be, but it isn't. It was facing backwards, and I thought, mistakenly, that I was going to flip it and find his signature. Because he is one, like Hines and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, that do seem to show up a lot in the 2018 breaks. That is numbered to 46, Dolphins. Here is our little aqueous test, and it's for the Panthers with Ian Thomas. Bobby, I don't think you were on here a while ago when I asked you this question, and it was, did your rep just let you out of Leaf Flash Football? Like you just said, this ticks me off that the date moved and I want to cancel it, and they just let you cancel it? Because, most of the time they will not let you cancel stuff. Not that I normally want to, but one time I did when something got really messed up with a product a while back, and they begrudgingly let me do it, but of course, most of the time I'm okay with waiting. But Johnny Hecker for the Rams, and of course, that's numbered to 25 with our die cut. And Jason Witten was stuck to somebody there. He probably, if he did just... Oh, you don't know because you emailed him Friday. I got you. Yeah, sometimes they do, especially if they've got somebody else waiting behind it. Because I actually picked up some stuff, not too long ago. One of my reps called me and said, hey, one of my guys wants to give up his case of, I don't even remember what it was now, but it's something I didn't have enough of. It was 2 different things, actually. He said, do you want it? And I said, yeah, I'll take it. Sony Michel red press proof on the rated rookie card set. And I actually asked him at that point, I said, I don't think you guys really just let people kind of cancel pre-orders. And he said, well, if I find somebody else who wants it, then I don't care. He said, but it has to be, you know, if I find one of my other customers. He said, if I didn't have one of my other customers who wanted it, then yeah, we'd tell him you had to take it. So I said, all right. So I always tell him now, hey, hit me up first. If you've got people that aren't going to take something, hit me up because I probably want it. And so I have picked up a few things that way, which works out well. Hayden Hurst and the Ravens. Hayden Hurst is number 2, 499. Little tight end there. Darius Geis, poor guy. Feel bad for that kid, man. What a terrible way to start your career with a torn ACL in a preseason game. I mean, for sure, he's still going to get his money, but you know what? That's not the important part to that kid. He wants to play ball. He doesn't want to be sitting on the sideline having surgery for a torn ACL, so I think that's a shame. Feel really bad for him. MVP and Elite Series. Oh, you guys are going back and forth in chat there, I see, about who is going to be better, Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. So we got a little sparring going on there, huh? This Man of the Year happens to be numbered. It is numbered to 100, LaDainian Tomlinson for the Chargers. Also pulled an autographed jersey for him this week or last week, recently anyway. I don't want those half case breaks. But I will say this about Sam Darnold. I do think that he's probably the most ready to start week 1. If you had to take any of the rookie quarterbacks and say the vet went out and the rookie had to take over, I think Sam is the one who would be most successful right out of the gate. Now, of course, you never know who's going to end up by the time it's all said and done. They get a little more work in and things like that. You don't know who's ultimately going to end up to be the best. We won't know that for a long time. That's to 100, the Ravens, Eric Weddle. So, I mean, what do they say? That you're supposed to wait 5 years to judge a draft class, right? Isn't that what the talking heads say? You can't really judge whether it's a good or bad draft class until 5 years have passed. Of course, obviously that's talking about the entirety of the draft class. We're talking just the quarterbacks, but still. Oh, you've hit 2 out of the 3 autographs, Bobby. You're pretty well rocking then, my friend. And you're saying you hope the redemption is Lamar Jackson, and then you'll just be taking them all. Here's Chloe Kim, fans of the game. I'm going to set this out, guys, because, you know what? She didn't pick a team, which I think is just rude. What's wrong with you, Chloe Kim? All the other fans of the game, they have a team that they're a fan of, and that team symbol is up there in the corner, and it will, of course, go to that team whose symbol is in the corner. But because Chloe Kim, for some reason, did not see fit to choose a team, hers just says NFL up there in the corner. So that means we have to use random.org to give her card away. So, oops, I had 2 packs left sitting up there, don't I? Manual, the whole shebang ships, my friend. Inserts, base, hits, all of it. Yeah, that's why it's always projected to ship out several days after the fact, because it takes, however long it takes to break this, you can count on it being 2 or 3 times that long by the time it is sorted and prepped for shipping and labels printed and out the door. It's a process for a break with this many cards. Whoops, I'm going to have to get a thicker card sleeve for that bad boy. It's for my Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Coming out with some Terry Bradshaw. Oh, I was hoping it was going to be a better relic than that. It's number 299, Canton Kings, but it's just black. I mean, there's not even any gold or anything. That kind of disappointed me a little bit. But anyway, it's Terry Bradshaw, so it's still cool. But I would have liked to have seen a little 2-color on that relic or something. I mean, come on, Panini. You're killing me here. Killing me. But I do think this season's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch a lot of these young guys. I'm kind of more excited about this year's draft class than I was about last year's and about any year recently. I think just as an entirety, as a whole, I think this group looks pretty good. Not just the quarterbacks, but just in general. And of course, Saquon Barkley. Like, don't we all want to just watch Saquon Barkley? Yeah. That first run, ripping off 39 yards. Yeah. Bobby B. He says that the patch for Terry Bradshaw was an underwear patch. Yeah, I don't think anybody's cutting up their skivvies there, but yeah, my joke was always, all these things that say player worn as opposed to game worn or game used. My joke was always that the guys would put it on and go mow the lawn or walk the dog or go to the grocery. But of course, I know they don't do everyday tasks in them. It was like just a joke. But one guy did say that. I was saying that one night and he goes, "That's not what they do." He was very serious about it. I was like, yeah, man, I know. It's just funny to imagine that that's what they would do. But in reality, what they do, of course, is as they're setting and signing their cards or their stickers or whatever, there's somebody from the card company standing behind them, handing them jerseys. Put this one on, and then they put it on, and they take it off. Put this one on, put this one on. That's really what they do on the stuff that's not game used anyway. This is number 2, 400. We've got loads and loads of those floating around through here. Ooh, Titans. I like that hit. Because that is numbered to 25, and it's Luke Falk. I think that's a pretty cool little hit. Luke Falk has been another one that's been surprisingly elusive. He and Lamar Jackson just really don't seem to be coming out as much as I would have thought. Now, Luke Falk, I think we found a bunch of in Leaf, if I'm remembering correctly. I think we found him a bunch in there, and I assume we'll find him again in Leaf. But Lamar Jackson, we did not find an early Leaf. I don't know the checklist yet for Flash because, well, you know the story. They moved it on us. I guess we'll find out on or about the 21st who's on the checklist. But anyway, point is, I think that's a nice Luke Falk being to 25 and seeing as how he's not one that I see come out every other time you turn around. A die-cut Russell Wilson. That one's numbered to 75, so these die-cuts do come in something other than 25. I just don't think we pulled another one that wasn't to 25. But that one is Russell Wilson and the Seahawks to 75. We'll change pace. They are trying to keep us on our toes, aren't they? Josh Allen, I thought, looked a little uneven, I will have to say. But really, what was happening there with Nathan Peterman? Like, how did Nathan Peterman end up getting the start? Like, what happened there? Does anybody else find that odd? Aqueous Test, Josh McCown. I kind of did. I was not expecting that to be the case. I know it's just a preseason game, but there is sort of a pecking order that's followed, and I was surprised. Joey Bosa, he's got a little brother coming up through the college ranks who allegedly is better at his age is better now at whatever age he is than Joey was at the same age. So that should be interesting too. Mason Rudolph, the rookies. Yeah, so they're going to cut Josh Dobbs. The writing's on the wall. So it's going to end up being Landry Jones again and Mason Rudolph, the third QB, I think. Well, yeah, they have somebody else. Didn't they pick up? Didn't the Bills get AJ? Didn't the Bills get AJ McCarron? Isn't that where he went? After he left the Bengals, he signed somewhere in free agency. I thought it was the Bills. Is that not right? So how did Nathan Peterman beat him out? Nathan Peterman is the same. He's the same guy that threw like 5 interceptions in 5 minutes or something. Wasn't really in 5 minutes, but Nathan Peterman had a horrible debut last year, and I really hadn't seen anything that led you to believe that had improved a lot. And then they picked up AJ McCarron, who you would assume would be placed ahead of Nathan Peterman, but apparently not. That's to 100. So if you're AJ McCarron, you are probably pretty ticked, right? Your whole thing is you wanted out of where you were because you couldn't get on the field. So you go to Buffalo with just Nathan Peterman there, and you think you're going to get on the field and somehow wind up behind him, and good grief, maybe even behind Josh Allen. So my guess is if you are AJ McCarron right now, you're probably not real happy with your current situation. Need to get a thicker card sleeve out for this. Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Oh, I like that patch. Now, see, why couldn't Terry Bradshaw's patch have looked like that? That's okay. I'm glad Matt Ryan's does, because that's pretty cool. That's numbered to 25, and that is a really, really nice patch for the Falcons. You guys know I'm a little bit of a sucker for a nice relic. Anytime you can get a little piece of a mascot or a logo or whatever, it's kind of makes me happy. Calvin Ridley, rated rookie to 99. I think Calvin Ridley's going to be good. I hope he is. Le'Veon Bell, who just may as well stay away, because you know what? James Conner's coming on, baby. He's healthy. He's been working hard. He's gotten himself in better shape. And Le'Veon Bell's going to hold out till we're all gray-headed. Probably show up about 5 minutes before the Week 1 game. So, whatever you want to do, Le'Veon. Got James Conner going to be doing some work for us, among others. Bobby, you think it's just to light a fire under AJ's butt is why they started Nathan Peterman? I don't know. Maybe, but it seems kind of unusual, because you would think that, AJ would have gone in and just thrown a couple of series, and then you would have turned it over to Nathan, and then from there on down the line. But I don't know. I don't think that bodes well for AJ McCarron. Maybe you're right. Maybe they are just trying to send him a message, but it seems to me that that is not a good sign for him when you're not beating out Nathan Peterman in the preseason. Either way, I'm sure he's not happy. Which I guess it's better to be not happy with a whole lot of money like he now has than, you know, unhappy with, than happy without any money. That is numbered to 100 snow days for the Lions with Matt Stafford. Of course, really, he's the one that should have been at the Browns. I still cannot believe that they messed up that paperwork on that deal last year. I mean, the deal was in place for A.J. McCarron to go to the Browns. All they had to do was fax in the paperwork by the deadline, and somehow or another the Browns don't get that done. They send it in, what, a couple minutes after the deadline or some ridiculous thing, so yeah, can't go through. Like, how do you do that? I don't know. It's probably better for A.J. that it did happen, but nonetheless, still kind of strange. Oh, Paxton Lynch. Man, I tell you what, Paxton Lynch really has not lived up to expectations, has he? I mean, he hasn't been able to, in 3 seasons now, win the starting job out over some, shall we say, questionable competition. So, oy. Yeah, I mean, we had, oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Trevor Siemian. But that's not even who I was trying to think of. Or maybe it is who I was trying to think of. But it's not. I don't think it was. Who is it that went to the Texans, then got sent in the salary dump to the Browns, got cut by the Browns, and worked his way back to the Broncos where he had originally been cut? Was that Trevor Siemian, or was that, or the other one whose name I'm blanking on? It wasn't Paxton. It was one of the others. Osweiler. Thank you. Brock Osweiler. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not beating out Brock Osweiler for a job, then come on, Paxton. What are you doing, man? Oh, Paxton's playing tonight. He's 6 of 11 for 24 yards, and he's had a pick. Whew. Oh, that was ugly. Greg, I did break some jerseys. Now I'm going to have to rely on some of you to help me out and tell me again who we had. Because I hate to tell you this, Greg, but this stuff goes in and out of my head so quickly. I don't always remember it. So bear with me. One of them was Jim Kelly for the Bills. I remember that. We had a Dolphin. That was Bob Greasy. And we had a Johnny Manziel for the Browns. Who is the other one, guys? Oh, Deshaun Watson. Right. Deshaun Watson. Thanks. Thank you. That's the one I blanked on and couldn't remember. Yeah, so Bills, Dolphins, Browns, Texans is how we looked tonight in our half-case jersey break. And our next half-case jersey break will be the start of a brand new case. So this was finishing up the back of a case. The next one starts a new case. Although I tell you, Jim Kelly's been kind of prevalent throughout, hasn't he? Isn't this the third? This is maybe the third or so Jim Kelly, third or fourth Jim Kelly that we've pulled. He's coming out a fair amount. This is another test, aqueous test, DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys. Oh, you know what just hit me? You know how in the other break, well, some of you know, some of you don't. Some of you weren't on here, but I was talking the other night about how some of these cards are so oddly numbered, like to 91 or something super strange. This is Kiki, numbered to 25, die cut for the Texans. And I believe it was Gina that came in and said, like, knew right away, well, that's because there are that many cards on a sheet, and if they don't use the full sheet, then it, you know, if they use the full sheet, it saves, like, I don't know, $12. I don't know why I remember that part, but I think it saves them $12 per sheet and something, like, really, like, good information. And I'm thinking, wow, man, that's, like, really impressive. How'd you know that off the top of your head? which Gina never did tell us, by the way. But then for whatever reason, I was thinking about that again this morning, and I was thinking, man, that was really good information just to know off the top of your head. And then I remembered, I think way back in the day, I think that Gina told us that maybe she worked at a place that produced cards, because I think, if I'm remembering right, that she had some uncut sheets that she wanted to have framed. At one point was asking about having uncut sheets framed. So I think that's maybe what it was. But anyway, that's kind of what happened with some of these weird numbered cards. Gina was kind enough to tell us that that's why they're oddly numbered, is because it takes up the whole sheet, which was kind of cool information. This one is numbered to 99. Dante Foreman relic. Oh, Der Blukenkat is here. Der Blukenkat, which I know I've said completely incorrectly, but it's kind of fun to say, even though I'm sure I said it wrong. This is numbered to 205, so that's another example of an oddly numbered card, which probably again has something to do with how many fit on a sheet of paper. You have a what do you say, Bobby? You have 1 of 3 and 2 of 3 2-color patch autos of Jim Kelly. Oh, out of Flawless, and you're trying to find the third one so that you have all 3 of the things out of Flawless. I gotcha. Well, that's ambitious. Has that been expensive? I dare say it has been, because Flawless is not cheap, that's for sure. You know, they still have not announced a date for Flawless basketball, by the way. It's kind of weird. They have announced for Flawless Collegiate, so I have an order in on that, of course, and National Treasures Collegiate both. But they've not announced Flawless 2017-18 basketball yet, which I find a bit odd. But we're going to open maybe a little bit more Flawless Collegiate than I typically do, primarily because one of my reps called me and said, can you open more Flawless Collegiate? I'm like, well, you know, I could. I haven't planned on it, but I guess I could. And it was kind of one of those deals like, oh, well, I think if you do, I could probably get you more of XYZ. So, you know, it's never a guarantee with those guys. It's always if this, maybe that. But anyway, I told him I would take it and then hope that that translates into something better, something really good for us down the road, you know. Not better. It's hard to be better than Flawless, but you know what I mean. That will work out well for us, that I took the extra cases. I hope. Oh, that's pretty cool. Bobby B says that he has a lady that gets into her breaks whose husband is a photographer. And so the lady buys a lot of cards, individual cards, where her husband took the picture of the player. That is pretty awesome. I do like that. Yeah, once upon a time, long time ago, before I had that eye surgery that went so wrong, this is numbered to 100, and it's a Lamar Jackson Rookie Gridiron King. I used to do a little photography myself. I didn't do sports photography, though. A Bradley Chubb as well, Rookie Gridiron Kings. I used to do concert and award show photography. So I've got loads and loads and loads of concert pictures, stuff like that. But that's been many, many years ago. But I never did do sports photography. Or weddings or anything like that. Oh, I hated doing stuff like that. I had a friend who wanted me to do her wedding, and I was like, ew, I don't like doing stuff like that. That's numbered to 100. It is Nick Chubb and the Browns. Like, I hate all those posed pictures of just like, oh, here I am eating a piece of cake. Here I am toasting my glass. No. No. But I always did think sports photography would be fun. I just, didn't ever get it done. Didn't ever get broken into the field or anything. Always did my concerts and award shows. And we have a DJ Moore Rookie Gridiron Kings autograph numbered to 49 for the Panthers. Keep in mind, we still have a redemption hanging out there too that hasn't been flipped yet. So we'll flip that at the end of the break when we get everything done. This is numbered to 100. Highlights. Juju Smith-Schuster for my Pittsburgh Steelers. I hope my Steelers are good this year. It's going to be really sad if we get jacked around again and don't get to the Super Bowl. We need to get to the Super Bowl, man. Our window is closing, and we need to get there. I'm going to not be happy if we don't. And we very well may not, because I think the division is going to be shaping up pretty nicely. I don't think there's going to be too many just walkovers that are a pass this year. And then, of course, you've always got to go through the New England Patriots, and goodness knows that has not been our friend in recent years. Oh, that's been disastrous. Why in the world we can't manage that, I will never know. But, of course, we couldn't even get past the Jags last year, so we... You were in a wedding... Wait a minute, what does it say? You were in a buddy's wedding 2 weekends ago. All the groomsmen were waiting to walk in with the girls in the wedding, and you spilled a beer all over the front of your suit. Oh, that is awful. Awful, man. Oh, no. That is, Bobby, that's so awful. Hey, you know what would have been worse, though, if you had spilled it all over the girl's dress. So even though what happened, really not fun, significantly better than if you had dumped it all over, say, a bridesmaid or, like your friend, the groom. So, ooh, this is a really thick one. I mean, it feels thicker than even what our blocks are, but I guess it is just a really thick block in there. Yeah, I guess it is. Felt thicker than a regular block card does, though. So, what are you going to do? Oh, you think the redemption is just going to be some defensive end that nobody's ever heard of? Well, I hope not. I hope that's not going to be the case. And by the way, some defensive players worth some money. I know they're not usually as popular as our offensive players, but hey, there's definitely some that are worth a little money. J.J. Watt comes to mind, among others. Der Blukenkot says, hey, he wouldn't be telling the story if he spilled it all over the bride. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably not. Although I've always tended to tell stories of stupid things I've done. Not that I'm calling you stupid, Bobby, but you know what I mean. Things that I've done that have been embarrassing or just whatever. I've never been one to shy away from telling embarrassing stories about myself, so... Terrell Davis, there's another nice patch, and that one is numbered to 25 as well. Canton Kings for the Broncos. But that's always kind of been my motto, actually. No matter how much I mess something up or how much I make a fool of myself or whatever, if there's a good story in it, I figure, it's worth it. That's numbered to 50, Marquise Pouncey and the Steelers. But if I really mess it up or really embarrass myself and there's no good story in it, well, that's just a waste. So long as I have a story, I'm usually okay. That's numbered to 400. Oh, the bride was really mad at you. Well, why is she mad at you if you spilled it on yourself? I mean, well, I guess it may be stained. So had you not done the pictures yet? So much of the time these days, it seems the pictures are done ahead of time. So I'm thinking, well, it really doesn't matter, other than maybe I guess you might have a little smell to you. Smell a little hoppy, but other than that, probably would have been fine. The groom's sister's just shaking her head at you. Yeah, well, that is kind of one of those moments maybe you hate to think about. You'd like to take back. But hey, like I said, it makes for a good story, so it's all good. To 25, the Chargers Hunter Henry die cut. But I figure, that's what, if you can't make fun of yourself, then you're probably going to have a hard row to hoe. So I've never been one to shy away from sharing my stories of imperfections, shall we say. That's being generous, calling them imperfections. Joe Theismann to 100 for the Redskins. And Deshaun Hamilton for the Broncos, numbered 2, 499. I like getting the autographs on the inserts, though. I've always liked that. I know some people do not. Some people prefer the autographs to be on the base card, or maybe occasionally like on the rated rookie or something, but I've always kind of liked getting them on the insert. You don't have as many that way. Technically, I guess it's, well, sometimes I guess it's less valuable that way than on the straight up card, but it doesn't matter to me. I collect what I like. Oh, I forgot to say Last Box Mojo. Daggone it. All right, well, we'll work on Last Box Mojo right now, I guess. We don't have much left of Mojo, though, do we? We already pulled our signature and maybe already our relic, too. I guess we're going to have to Mojo the Redemption. So instead of Last Box Mojo, which I forgot to call out, we're going to have Redemption Mojo. And see if we can't conjure up something fabulous. I don't know why that one block, this is a normal one, that one block in the pack that I said felt really heavy and thick was a way thicker block than all the rest of them. I just mean the blank, dummy cards they put in there to throw off the people who sit around and feel the packs and try to find the hits. Which frankly I think is just genius. Whoever did that originally, I applaud them. Because, the first few times somebody's trying to stand around and squeeze the packs and figure out where the hits are, and then they get them and they get home and open them and they've got all those blocks. It's like, haha, serves you right. But really, I don't know how you would keep somebody from doing that if you own a card shop, unless all the packs stay behind the counter, which would probably be a bit of a drag, but probably the only way you could prevent that. Of course, buying by the pack is such a foreign concept to me these days. Everything's by the box or by the case and has been for such a long time. It's hard to think about just buying a pack somewhere like we used to do. Back in the day, I sound like I'm 100. Back in the day when I used to walk 75 miles to school in 4-foot snow. But you know what I mean. Yes, Noir has already come and gone. We are almost finished, actually, with the whole night. Just these last few little cards here for Donruss and a recap to go, but we certainly have been into Noir already. We did the autographed jerseys first tonight. Noir basketball came up second. And then, of course, we're in Donruss football right now. This is to 100. It is Dante Jackson and the Carolina Panthers. You picked up a blaster of Series 2 2017 and noticed it was heavy. Oh, and you had a Mike Trout medallion in it. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you hear all these stories. I mean, you hear some of the craziest stuff. I had a customer tell me that somebody that they had done a break with, I don't know how they knew this, but they said that someone they did a break with, when they get in their memorabilia, would weigh it all. And they could allegedly tell by weighing it, like which helmet was going to be. I mean, I guess an authentic helmet would weigh more than a replica helmet, but supposedly could tell if it was going to be collegiate or if it was going to be this or that or the other, based on what the box weighed, and that they were weighing all their jerseys to figure out which were authentic and which were custom, which makes more sense because authentic might be heavier. But I don't know. So you hear all kinds of stuff about people weighing stuff and whatever, but to me, I think that's just a big old waste of time. Now, on a blaster box, that's different. Those are easy to just like pick up, and you can tell when you pick it up, and that's different. But our redemption is Matt Ryan. So how about that, Falcons? No, that's not some defensive end we've never heard of. That is a Dominator's autograph for Mr. Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And we are going to go find out what this is numbered to. After we do that, we're going to use random.org to award this silly Chloe Kim card because she was too weak to pick a team. And so it just says NFL Shield up there. Like, what is that about? Fans of the game and you got no team? What's wrong with you, Chloe Kim? All right, let's roll over here to Panini's website and find out what Matt Ryan is going to be numbered to. Of course, I was in the other checklist, so I've got to get us out of Noir and into this, and then we'll find out what we need to know. Card set was Dominators, right? Yeah, Dominators. Where are you? Dominators autographs. Matt Ryan is card number 20. And it is numbered to 10. You know what? This has been a good case. We're only 2/3 of the way through it. We've hit the Matt Ryan to 10. We hit a 1 of 1 out of the first half of the case. I don't remember what the card was. I just remember we hit a 1 of 1 out of the first third of the case. Now that nice Matt Ryan to 10. Kind of am digging this case. We're doing pretty well with it. All right, what we have to do right now is give away or use random.org to award, I should say, the Chloe Kim Fans of the Game card. So here's what we're doing right now. I am grabbing all of the team names, and I will take all of these team names and I'm going to paste them into random.org, and I'm going to bring you along with me. And by the by, somebody was wanting to see everything again. So there you go. There once again are all the teams and the bidders across from it. I believe it was our New York Jets bidder, our European Jets fan bidder, who was hanging out waiting for that, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that's right. All right, so let's roll back over here and head up to random.org one more time. Probably nobody even cares about this Chloe Kim card, right? You're all like, nobody wants it. We don't care if we get it. I know, but I've got to do something with it. It can't just hang out here forever. So once again, scrolling through just so you can see that all 32 of our teams were in fact correctly copied and pasted. I'm going to hit random one single time because there's 32 items. There's no need to do it multiple times. Whoever comes out in the number 1 position gets the Chloe Kim Fans of the Game. It comes up as the Bengals. So Cincinnati Bengals, you are going to get indecisive Chloe Kim and her fans of the game card with no team chosen. I don't even think you should be able to be allowed to be on that card if you can't choose a team. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's recap. This is going to the Bengals, which of course you know I didn't write on the card, but now it's proven. It's on the sleeve. That to the Bengals. Oh, what a redemption it was. It is a Dominator autograph, number /10 from Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And that, my friends, is a sweet, sweet hit. Deshaun Hamilton. A nice patch for Terrell Davis. And then to 49, we had the DJ Moore. The Texans got on board with a Foreman relic. And then the nice Matt Ryan relic to go along with the signature, right? I mean, your relics to 25, you're going to get the signature to 10. You did all right if you got the Falcons tonight. Luke Falk, I think this is a nice hit to 25. It's a very nice hit for the Tennessee Titans. Terry Bradshaw relic, and I'm bummed that it's just solid black, but it is, so what are you going to do? Hayden Hurst to 499 Ravens. Duke Johnson for the Browns. Naheem Hines for the Colts. And last but not least, we started off the night with Joe Thomas to 125 for the Browns. So our recap is finished up. Our break is finished up. But I will put up all the spreadsheet information one final time so that anyone who is interested in it can get the shipping information and all that stuff again. So let's get that back up there. And, oh, you're asking when do the videos get posted? There's actually two different answers to that question, okay? And I know that sounds weird to say there's two different answers, but there kind of are, and here's why. YouTube will have an archived version of this break. They save a version themselves, and they do something called processing, whatever that is, whatever that entails. And typically within a few hours after the break concludes, I'd say anywhere 2, 3, 4 hours after the fact maybe, they will have it where you can watch it again, but it'll just say live stream or whatever the regular title is. You know, it's not anything other than that. So you just kind of have to know that it's there. Otherwise, if you wait for me to upload it, it's going to go up sometime tomorrow. I usually get them up late afternoon or early evening. Obviously, the only difference between what YouTube archives and what I upload is that when I upload it, I will add the proper title and tags, and that's literally the only difference. So if you feel so inclined as to wait, eventually here in the next few hours, YouTube will have their archived version up. Otherwise, sometime tomorrow, late afternoon or early evening, I will upload. So that's how that works. Okay, so the deal is this. The autographed football jerseys will go out on or before Friday. Once again, those are free shipping items. Those always go on a different schedule when it is a free shipping item. If you got skunked in the jersey break, your consolation card, which can be from any year in any series, I typically will hold until you next have a package shipping. Then I would simply gather them all up and ship them out together. I track it for a rolling 90 days. If you are in that jersey break and you don't want to wait to have it shipped with your next package, shoot me a message on eBay and let me know, and I'll get it out to you sooner, just in a plain white envelope and a stamp. Our paid shipping breaks tonight, which were Noir Basketball and Donruss Football, I'm projecting a Wednesday shipping date. I would love to get it to you sooner than that. Realistically, I don't think that I will. And if something really weird happens, it could possibly even slide a day later to Thursday, but I feel like Wednesday is probably a reasonable expectation. And Donruss, of course, nobody got skunked. Every team has pulled cards in Donruss. But if you got skunked in Noir and your team did not pull anything at all, your consolation card or cards will ship out with the rest of the break, since it's a paid shipping break. So you would expect that would head out the door on or about Wednesday. And one more time, we're taking a little a scroll through the things that are coming up in the days ahead. Please note that tomorrow night we are starting early at 9:30 instead of 10. We'll open a full case of Elements, a full case of Topps Archives Signature Series Active Player Edition, which I haven't had in a few weeks, and a half case of Allen and Ginter Baseball. Monday, we have another case of Immaculate Baseball that I rounded up, and it's the last case of that, and I don't think I'll be able to get any more of that either. We'll open the last of the Gold Standard Football. It is a half case break, and we will also open the last of the Certified Football on Monday. So basically everything we're opening on Monday, I don't have any more of it on hand. On Tuesday, we'll open an autographed New Era baseball cap, an autographed baseball jersey, about a case of Clearly Authentic, another half case of football jerseys. It'll be the beginning of a new case. And then we will finish up the Donruss football on Tuesday, and it's probably the last of Donruss will break just because there's so much more stuff coming down the line. On Wednesday, we'll open a Hit Parade Series 32 autographed full-size football helmet. That has signatures in it from Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Saquon Barkley, among many others. So we definitely have the possibility of some big hits in there. You never know what you're going to get, but at least we know we have the possibility of some big ones. And then, of course, a case of Unparalleled Football, which comes out on Wednesday. Thursday will be another half case of the Leaf autographed jerseys, another case of Clearly Authentic Baseball, and we're going to open a jumbo case of Topps Chrome Baseball. That jumbo case is going to have 5 autographs per box, which means we're going to have 40 autograph hits in that case break. So it's going to be monstrously good with Topps Chrome Jumbo on Thursday night. And that has got us wrapped up for this evening. So once again, thank you. I really appreciate everyone bidding and breaking and hanging out with me and hanging out here till the bitter end. So thanks once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And hey, we'll be back at it tomorrow night. We'll see you then. Bye now.